Welcome to the CHF BC Scholarship Awards ceremony. This is easily one of our favorite annual events. And if this is the first time that you're attending one of our ceremonies, be prepared to be inspired. Times are changing and we're experiencing a real shift in the way we treat each other and a shift in the way we think about each other. And the individuals that you are going to meet this evening already know what Nelson Mandela told us decades ago, that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Our scholarship recipients are doing that already and right in their own backyards, and we can hardly wait to share their stories with you. This month, we're celebrating National Indigenous History Month to honor the history, heritage, and the diversity of Indigenous people all across Canada. It is also an opportunity to recognize the strength of the Indigenous communities present day. At CHF BC, we are on a journey of truth and reconciliation, and we acknowledge that the original stewards of the land that we work, study, and live on in BC is home to 198 distinct First Nations. We acknowledge that those traditional lands are largely unceded territories. Wherever you are tonight, I invite you to commit to the kinds of thought and action that will lead towards a meaningful reconciliation with the original stewards of the land. Without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for tonight, the CEO of CHF BC, Coho Management Services, and the Community Land Trust, Mr. Tom Armstrong.
Thank you, Michelle. And good evening, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's joining us here live, and welcome to those listening to what I'm sure will be a very popular video on our YouTube channel after tonight's event. Can you believe that it has been 8 years since we launched our new CHF BC Scholarship Fund? Well, here we are again for a 9th year, and it hardly seems possible. Since that first presentation, we've awarded a total of 19 scholarships worth more than $70,000. And we are so proud of how well our scholarship winners are doing. Every one of them is a credit to their families, their co-ops, and the co-op housing movement. For the next 60 seconds, I'm going to ask you just to think back to 2012. You may remember Jazz, one of our first scholarship recipients. He'll give you an idea of how much these scholarships mean to the students who receive them.
So the CHF BC Scholarship Program is in its 5th year, and it's a program that awards co-op members who want to pursue post-secondary education, wherever that may be. I got my scholarship in grade 12. Essentially what happened was my mom forced me to do it, and it pretty much changed my post-secondary life. I graduated in May of 2016. I studied at Emily Carr University of Art and Design, and there I studied illustration. I think when you're granted an award, it's your responsibility to move it forward and do the best you can in that field. Thank you so much, CHF BC, for providing me with a scholarship that completely shifted who I was able to become in first year, and that set the course for what I considered a pretty successful next 3 years.
Thanks, Jazz. So as always, we are very grateful to our friends at the Co-op Housing Federation of Toronto for the advice and encouragement they gave us to get our scholarship fund up and running. CHF Toronto has been awarding scholarships for several years to co-op members attending full-time college or university. This year alone, there are more than 100 students attending school with the help of CHFT scholarships. So our fund is modeled very closely on the CHFT example. Each scholarship is worth up to $5,000, $2,000 in the first year of study, and then $1,000 a year for up to 3 more years. Recipients must be living in a CHF BC member co-op, attend or be planning to attend a full-time undergraduate program at a Canadian college or university, and above all, be making a positive contribution to their community. You know, the scholarship fund has attracted loyal donors from the moment we announced it. Van City contributed $5,000 on the same day it was launched. And people like Grant Haddock and organizations like CHF Canada, Unifor, the Cooperators, and Waste Connections contribute every year. So we could not keep doing this without the generosity of our donors. We thank them very much. We're hoping that more people, co-ops and other organizations, will consider making a contribution to the fund so we can award even more scholarships to deserving students in the years to come. Now, each year we recruit an independent review committee. So the selection of scholarship recipients won't be made by CHF BC staff or directors. I want to recognize once again our very fine review committee for the outstanding job they did. The committee is Grant Haddock from Haddock and Company, Lillian Chow from Brightside Community Homes, and Gabe Dennis, himself a scholarship winner and a former CHF BC director. I can tell you that being on the review committee is a serious commitment involving many hours of work, and our committee takes it very seriously. Now, when we created the CHF BC Scholarship Fund, we decided to name one of the first scholarships after Aaron Webster, because the seed money for the scholarships came from a fund originally set up in his name. Many of you know about Aaron, even though it's hard to believe in saying this. It's been almost 20 years since he lost his life. Aaron was the victim of a hate crime. He was killed because he was gay, and for no other reason. And this tragedy affected many of us very deeply, because at the time of his death, Aaron was the president of his housing co-op. And Cityview Housing Co-op has since changed its name to Aaron Webster Housing Co-op to honor his memory. Not long after Aaron's death, CHFBC established the Aaron Webster Memorial Fund in the hope of using it in some way to celebrate our diversity as a co-op housing movement. And that's the seed that grew into our scholarship fund. And each year we name one of our scholarships the Aaron Webster Memorial Scholarship to acknowledge these roots. And I know that Aaron would be very proud of the student who is receiving this award today. So I'd like to ask Lillian Chow to join us and tell you about the winner of this year's Aaron Webster Memorial Scholarship.
There we go. It works. Fantastic. Thank you, Tom. Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Lillian Chow, and I've been part of the Scholarship Committee for the past 3 years. On behalf of the Scholarship Committee members, Gabe Dennis and Grant Haddock, thank you for being here tonight to celebrate with us this year's scholarship winners. It's a really great honor for me to recognize our first scholarship winner and the recipient of the Aaron Webster Memorial Scholarship. Daria Caldera lives in Kincross Creek Housing Co-op in Vancouver, along with his parents and 4 siblings. You may say that the CHF BC Scholarship run in his family. Dario's sister, Selena, received her scholarship award in 2017. Dario will graduate from Killarney Secondary School this year, and next year he'll be enrolled in Kwantlen Polytechnic University's Education Assistant Program, where he will learn how to support students with special and diverse learning needs. Dario's ambition is to turn those skills and that natural empathy into a career in law enforcement. One of his references writes, "I believe that the police force needs more officers who are community-oriented, compassionate, and thoughtful. All the qualities I can vouch for in Dario." And considering what we're seeing around in our community in the last few weeks and months, we definitely need more Darios in our community. Another one of Dario's references describes him as a consummate volunteer, and we were so impressed with the long list of contributions he's making to his school, his church, his co-op, and his community. We asked Dario to produce a short video to introduce himself to you, and here it is.
Hello, my name is Daria Caldera. I am 18 years old and the second oldest of 5 children in my family. I am a graduate of Killarney Secondary School, and in the years of my attendance, I have been a volunteer with the Killarney Community Schools team, an editor of the yearbook, a vice president of the Strategy Games Club, and a member of the Grade 12 Link crew. Outside of school, I am a ball hockey player for Metro Ball Hockey, a VPD cadet corporal, and a volunteer for Camp Firkham on Gambier Island. I'm still able to do all of this despite having spastic cerebral palsy. Currently, I live in Kinross Creek Housing Co-op in Champlain Heights. Since moving in 8 years ago, I have found home. I'm a member of the co-op's Youth Council and Newsletter Committee. On the council, I help organize and run events for youth and families in my co-op, such as sports tournaments, social gatherings, and much more. I help volunteer at our 2 annual cleanups, one in the fall and one in the spring, shoveling snow in the winter and distributing notices to the neighbors. I am proud to have earned the CHF BC Scholarship.
So you can see how we are so impressed by Dario. In his essay, Dario submitted along with his application, he writes, "I'm blessed to be able to call King Cross Creek Housing Co-op my home, and my neighbors my family, and I'm sure that feeling is mutual. It's with great pleasure that I asked Daria Caldera to join us live from King Cross Creek to receive the Aaron Webster Memorial Scholarship."
So I would first like to thank personally my family, so my parents and siblings, who almost all of them are here today right now. Selena is currently at Camp Firkham doing a work shift. I would also like to extend my gratitude to CHF BC, mostly the scholarship committee, who spent hours going through all the candidates, seeing who could be recipient of this scholarship. There is a magnet on my family fridge with a quote, "Everything starts with a dream," and I'd like to share mine. As mentioned by Lillian, in September, I will be attending Kwantlin's EDIS program, where it will prep me for working with students with mental and physical disabilities in the school system. A such program both my mother and older sister took on their journey to being a teacher. Also mentioned by Lillian, I have no plans to becoming a teacher. I want to be a police officer with Vancouver Police Department, mostly working in the downtown east side with those suffering from mental and physical disabilities and don't quite receive the full help from the police as they should be. I've seen police officers arrest people under false misjudgment, thinking they are under the use of drugs or such different other things. This builds a negative image for the police, and with my training from EDIS and becoming a police officer, I would be able to build strong rapport with the community and strengthen the bonds between those in the East Side and the Vancouver Police Department. Thank you again to CHFBC, and of course my family for helping me.
Thank you, Dario. Did you want to bring your family into the frame?
Sure. So, they're coming.
Hi.
Wait.
Who else is in here? 1, 2.
So with me is my mom, Stacy, my dad, Dino, my 3 younger brothers, Tadeo, Massimo, and Vincenzo, and as mentioned before, Selena is currently on Camp Firkham right now.
Oh, that's great. Dario, we have a lot in common. I also come from a family of teachers and was not interested in becoming a teacher. And it turned out okay for me, so I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, congratulations once again to Dario and your family. I don't think that this is going to be the last time that we hear about a member of this family receiving a scholarship from CHFBC, and I look forward to that as well. Next, I would like to just introduce myself quickly. My name is Gabe Dennis. I am the winner of a CHFBC scholarship myself in 2014, and I'm the president of Access Co-op in Vancouver. It's now my great pleasure to welcome and introduce our second scholarship winner this evening. Sapphire Dumarask lives in Aaron Webster Co-op in East Vancouver. The co-op's been on a real journey lately, moving from its original location on East Pender to sharing the new Community Land Trust building at 95 East 1st Avenue at Rail Yard Co-op. Sapphire's passion is interior design. They've completed the design certificate and diploma programs at BCIT, graduating this spring with a diploma in residential design. Next up is going to be the very challenging bachelor's degree in interior design, and we have every confidence that Sapphire is going to succeed. Sapphire has an ambition to play a role in designing sustainable, accessible, affordable housing for all of us. They've already played a key role in supporting their own co-op in dealing with serious structural and building envelope challenges. Director on the Aaron Webster board, describes Sapphire as an informed, enthusiastic co-op member who brings energy, kindness, and intelligence to every meeting and event. This is one of the things that I love about being a co-op member myself, is that we get these opportunities to use our skills and our passions, if we choose, to support the sector and to advance the sector. And I'm grateful for the support that CHF BC provides us in doing that. Let's meet Sapphire first through the video that they've prepared for us.
Hi folks, I'm Sapphire Dumaresk and I'm an interior design student at BCIT. I've completed my interior design certificate and diploma as well as my residential interiors diploma, and I'm currently working towards my bachelor's degree with the end goal of becoming a registered interior designer. I've lived for 15 years in nonprofit housing. The last 6 years have been in the Webster Housing Co-op with my husband Scott and our 2 kids, Ashton and Gray, surrounded by friends and community. I've been so thankful for the affordability and stability provided by co-op housing, especially in a place like Vancouver. My dream job, once I'm finished my degree, is to work with architects and other interior designers, as well as social housing organizations to provide well thought out, livable, sustainable, and affordable homes for people who may not otherwise have access to them. As such, I'd really like to thank the Co-op Housing Federation of BC for awarding me this scholarship. This award will not only make my end goal easier to reach, but more so the recognition from the co-op housing community further encourages me to work towards that goal.
Thank you so much, Sapphire. You know, it can't be easy balancing the busy schedule of being a student, parent, and co-op member. I know myself, well, student and co-op member, I don't know what it's like to be a parent, but I can imagine that that adds an extra dimension to it as well. We're very impressed with what you've accomplished, Sapphire. It's with great pleasure that I asked Sapphire Dumaresk to join us live from Webster Co-op to receive the CHF BC Scholarship.
I'm here with my whole family.
Hello.
So this is Scott, that's Ashton, that's Gray. And we would all really like to say thank you for the scholarship. It makes my upcoming bachelor's so much easier to tackle with that little bit of extra help. And we're all super appreciative of it. And I know that they're all really super proud of me. And I can't thank you all enough. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sapphire. I'm just going to bring Lillian back.
Well, congratulations to both Daria and to Sapphire, and it's wonderful to see your families as well. So it's my great pleasure to introduce our third scholarship winner this evening. Claire Henry. Tome is with the Heritage Housing Co-op in Vancouver. At the moment, she's completing the second year of a 4-year Bachelor of Journalism with honors degree at the University of King's College in Halifax, Nova Scotia. One of Claire's instructors describes her as a standout amongst her peers, achieving the highest mark in her class. The grades aren't the whole story. The same instructor notes her positive character and contribution to class morale. Claire has been a dedicated volunteer with Autism Nova Scotia for almost a year, providing physical, emotional, and cognitive support to people with autism several hours each week. According to her reference, Claire is a dedicated and inspiring individual, motivated to make a difference and to help people. In her own words, everybody needs a place to live that is safe and affordable. Everybody needs a place where they feel community and belonging. Co-op housing gave me that chance to have both. So let's hear more about Claire in her own words.
There are so many reasons I feel grateful to have grown up in cooperative housing. I feel that it's made me into a person who looks for and tries to build community. As a kid, growing up in my co-op meant that my best friends, my family, and my school were all closely connected. I felt safe playing and exploring outdoors because my neighborhood was filled with familiar people and places. Today I have continued to explore, beyond the Vancouver seawall to camping on the shores of Vancouver Island, trekking in the Himalayas, and studying in Nova Scotia. Now when I return home, I'm lucky enough to have 2 cooperative communities in my life. Living between the False Creek and the heritage co-op housing communities has allowed me to stay connected to my family as I move into adulthood and try to figure out where I want to go. Living in co-ops has also meant that I've gotten to cohabitate with many kinds of people. And I feel like that fed my love of reading, writing, hearing, and telling stories. I think sharing stories is a powerful way to build community. And I study journalism at the University of King's College because I want to help people tell their stories. Most of all, I want to create a life for myself and for others that is grounded in a supportive and connected community.
Thank you so much, Claire. We are so thankful that Claire is chosen to study journalism. Like she said, she loves telling stories, and it's great that we have her to tell the story of co-op housing to the rest of the world. And if it's her, then definitely our future is very bright. So it's with great pleasure that I ask Claire Henry to join us live and on screen to receive her CHF BC Scholarship.
I feel grateful to accept the 2020 CHF BC Scholarship Award. And I also feel grateful for all the people who support me in my life and my education. I want to thank my parents, my sister, and my whole family. I want to thank my neighbors at the Heritage and False Creek Co-ops. I want to thank the Scholarship Committee and everyone at CHF BC. This scholarship will support me in the last 2 years of my Bachelor of Journalism honors degree at the University of King's College. In 2 years, I've come to love King's campus culture and life in Halifax. I learn as much from my peers as I do from my professors, and I feel lucky to have both friends and teachers who are there to chat about readings and ideas with me. King's is a really special place for me. Even though I expect my university experience to be vastly different in the next 2 years, I want to continue taking the opportunity to learn in this environment, and this scholarship is going to help me do that. I want to use my journalistic skills to tell stories. I'm particularly interested in telling stories with visual tools like photography, video, and illustration. I'm inspired by journalists who change how journalism is done and who look for stories that have not been told. I hope to one day be the kind of storyteller who embraces and creates change. This scholarship makes a big difference in my achievement of that future. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Lillian, and thanks, Claire. And that's it for our presentations. Thank you, everyone, for an outstanding job. Thanks for the Scholarship Committee, and congratulations to all the well-deserving scholarship winners. And of course, thanks to everyone that's contributed financially to the scholarship event. And of course, we're going to do it again next year. We can hardly wait. And that's it for tonight. Good night, everybody.